Hi everyone, welcome back to Trees and Turtles. My name's Imogen. In today's video, I'm sharing why I never took a gap year between A-levels and university. If you're not already subscribed, be sure to do that, give this video a big thumbs up, follow me on Instagram, and let's get started. So a lot of people take gap years between A-levels and university, or if you're in the States, a lot of people take gap years before college, and this is actually becoming more common. I'll leave some sources in the description box to back up my claim, but yes, gap years are becoming more common. Taking a year to work out your next steps is really popular. However, I never took a gap year, and in this video I wanted to talk about why, because it has a lot to do with like lifestyle, mental health, productivity, all like bang on topic. So without further ado, let's get started. I already told you to subscribe. If you haven't already, make sure you do that. And yeah, let's get started. So the first reason was that I was a year older already than I technically should have been going into university, because I was almost 20 when I started at Durham, and I was a year older because I'd been homeschooled and I'd finished GCSEs a year late, so I was also a year late finishing A-levels, and I didn't want to be 2 years late finishing university. This was like the main reason. I really felt a sense of urgency, and you know, I've said in other videos that there isn't really a social timeline and you can do anything at any stage in your life, and I absolutely still believe that. However, I think for me, I was feeling like a personal sense of urgency, which I wouldn't necessarily want to impose onto anyone else, but it was a very personal thing for me. I felt like a sense of urgency and that I really wanted to sort of get on with my life, and I was already kind of like a year behind where I should have been, so I didn't want to be 2 years behind. Alright, another reason was that I was certain about what I wanted to do, and sometimes people take like a gap year to work out the right university course for them, but I already knew exactly what course I wanted to study, which simplified the process. So like, I've heard of people taking gap years to kind of like decide between two university courses or two like different career paths or two different fields of study, but there was no doubt in my mind as to which degree course and which career direction I wanted to take. So like, I was already very, very certain about that. I didn't need any extra time to figure it out, which was probably lucky because I was kind of a year late anyway. Another reason is that I already had the grades and the offer to do the course. Another common reason for taking a gap year is to reapply to a course or to study an A-level subject again if you wanted to like improve your like grades a little bit. But I was lucky enough to have a place already offered. I was happy with my A-level grades, so I thought I might as well just go for it. The other thing that I wanted to talk about in this video, one of the other things, is that I had a plan to gain work experience alongside my uni course. So a lot of gap years are super useful for gaining work experience, and a lot of the time people take gap years in order to get some experience in industry, to earn some money, to just like take a break from academics a little bit. But I already had like a very concrete, solid plan in place to gain that work experience while I was doing my degree. So obviously it's really cool to have that opportunity to like try out something new in terms of work, and I did want to do all these things, but I made like a plan to utilize holiday time, utilize time like that was spare during term as well, and that made me confident that I wouldn't miss out on like typical gap year activities. So obviously that is like a very valid reason that a lot of people take a gap year off, but I didn't feel that that was necessary for me to gain that experience and gain those skills. Like, I felt like I could do both at the same time, and it turned out I could. So let's talk about travel. Another common reason for taking a gap year is to travel more, and I did have the goal to travel, but I evaluated it and I realised that it was a lower priority at that point than getting into higher education, getting my degree, so I postponed my travel plans until third year. Arguably, this was a bit of a sacrifice, and I'm aware that like this is not for everyone, because you know, some people are just very invested in like traveling as early on as possible, but at that point in my life I kind of looked at these two things and I was like, I can do one or the other, and I chose my degree. And that was just like a personal thing, but it was a contributing factor. It wasn't like the only reason. You could argue I missed out. However, I did still travel during the holidays a lot, and in my third year I really like branched out and I traveled to 11 new countries in 2024 by myself, so it worked out. And yeah, I guess it was just a matter of priorities. Alright, the final thing that I want to talk about in this video is that it was really time for me to move out and start being independent, okay? At 19, I had been thinking about gaining independence and moving out already for multiple years, and university was the logical first step, both in terms of career development, which is enabling me to become financially independent, and also in developing life skills, moving away from home for the first time, all of those things which were contributing to my development as an independent adult, which are really important for me at that stage. So I wanted to get on with that as soon as possible. This was probably the other biggest reason. Like, I wasn't willing to live at home for even another month, never mind another year. Like, I thought, you know, I could take a gap year, but then I'm gonna have to live at home, and that would be a nightmare for me. So I decided not to do that. So I just wanted to like kind of recap a little bit, because I know it's very common to take gap years, and if you're at this stage, you might be wondering, oh, you know, should I take a gap year? Should I not take a gap year? And let me emphasize, there is no right answer. I'm not saying, oh, I didn't take a gap year, so if you take a gap year, you must be lazy. No, absolutely not. In fact, I would rather say the opposite, in that I hope this video has kind of helped you to understand like the factors which might contribute to your decision, whatever that decision is. So timing was a factor in that I was a year older than I should have been, and that kind of gave me a sense of urgency. I was certain about what I wanted to do. I already had the offer and the grades in hand. I had a plan to gain work experience alongside, so I didn't need the extra sort of year for that. I decided that I didn't want to travel until after my university course. Again, kind of a personal sacrifice, depends on what your priorities are, and it was really just time for me to be an adult and move out and be independent. So all of those factors kind of contributed towards me going straight to university from A-levels without a gap year in between. And yeah, I guess I feel like I kind of took my gap year like after university, because after I graduated, all right, I'm not on a gap year right now because I am in the process of like building my career, but I'm not like actively in academia, because several people I know like went straight into a master's and I didn't do that. So I guess I'm kind of having like my gap year-ish, or gap years plural, I'm not sure right now. But yeah, I guess it's kind of a personal decision, but I think it's something I haven't really talked a lot about on this channel, and it's something that's quite common in the whole like college or A-levels to university pipeline. So yeah, I thought this might be helpful for any of you who are deciding on your academic or career training trajectory right now. And yeah, if this video was entertaining in any way, I hope that was also useful for you as well. If you are not already subscribed, be sure to do that. Give this video a thumbs up, follow me on Instagram. I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.